All, welcome to Tech Capture. So in this video, we are going to discuss what is EBS in AWS. So EBS in AWS stand for Elastic Block Store. So I'm not going to bore you with the theoretical concept. Just let me explain a simple term. So let's say any server. Your laptop is also a one server. So if you are talking about a physical server, I'll take example of a laptop. And whenever you are using a laptop and you want to install a OS, you need a hard disk. To store anything in your laptop, you need kind of storage, that is your hard disk. Similarly, EC2 is your virtual server, and to install the OS or do anything with your EC2 instance, you need a kind of storage, and there it comes a EBS. EBS nothing but your kind of hard drive for your EC2 instance. It is also a virtual storage with your EC2 volume, EC2 instance. So how it works? So you can attach any amount of storage with your EBS and attach that EBS to your EC2 instance. Okay, so there are some key features. Suppose you are talking about the physical disk. Once you buy 1 TB physical disk, you cannot increase the size of the same disk. You have to add a new disk. But in case of EBS, so suppose your EBS having the size of currently 10 GB and it is going to fill, you can just increase the size to 20 GB. So it is a scalable. You can increase the storage size as your needs grow. It is flexible. There are a lot of options, just like hard disk and SSD. Same option you have in your EBS. It is having the backup option as well using the snapshot. So this is a simple explanation of EBS. So if I go to my laptop, you can see there is a disk attached to it. So this is one volume, that is C, that is one partition D, E, this is SSD, and these are HDD. So this is the hard disk attached to my physical laptop. Similarly, you will have this kind of drives, this kind of partition in your EC2 instance using the EBS. So I'm going to show you with a demo. So in this video, we are going to see how we can create EBS volume and attach to your Linux instance. In our next video, we'll see how we can create and attach the EBS volume to your Windows EC2 instance. Okay, so let me go to the Cloud Console now and let me create my EC2 instance, and let me show you how we can create EBS volume and attach to your EC2 instance. So let's go to Cloud Console now. So I am in my AWS console. So let me go to the EC2 page from here. So there are currently no instances running. You can see 0. So let me open this instance page and quickly launch one instance with a default configuration. I'll just click on launch instance. I'll just give the name as the EBS demo. So I'll go with Amazon Linux. That is my basic configuration. Free tier eligible. This is also free tier. I will not use any key pair. So I'll just go without key pair. So this also I'll keep default. I will keep this is also default. Now you can see the storage. So by default, the root volumes where your OS is installed, which OS. So here we are using the Linux one. So this will be installed on your this root volume, that's your 8 GB. Okay, you can increase the size. Let's say suppose I want 9 GB, 10 GB, but I will go with the default, and you can add additional volume, additional EBS volume while creating, but I just go with the default and I will create separately, and then I will show you how we can attach EBS volume to your EC2 instance. Now I will just launch my instance. Okay, so it will take few minutes to launch my instance. Then I will go and connect to my EC2 instance. I will see the default configuration, default EBS volume, the root volume, how we can check that I will show you within our EC2 instance. Okay, so my instance is ready. Let me go to my instance here. So let me click here and I'll show you few things here. So here I go to a storage tab. You can see currently one volume is attached. This is your root volume. Okay, so name, you can see device name /dev/xvds size 8. It is attached. Encrypted, no. Delete on termination, yes. It means whenever you delete your EC2 instance, your this root volume or EBS volume will also get deleted, because this is by default attached to your EC2 instance, and this is the root volume. Now I'll go and log in into my EC2 instance. Now I am within my EC2 instance. So if I check here the disk space, you can see it is a different file system. It is having a different partition it is having. But if I show you the disk, okay, so you can see currently it is attached to only one XVDA, that is your root, and it is having 8 GB size. Okay, the same thing we have observed on our storage section. So here we observe the same thing. It is 8 GB dev XVDA. Okay, so dev XVDA. Now suppose this is my root volume. I need to store additional data. I need to store kind of files, audio, video, or just any example, or I need to have the database related file, and I need additional size, or I need additional disk to be attached to my EC2 instance. So we'll create new EBS volume. So I'll go to EC2 page, and in EC2 page we have option here elastic blocks. I'll go here and I'll see what are the available EBS volumes currently we are having. So definitely we'll be having currently one, which is a root volume of our instance. You can see this one volume, type GP3, size 8 GB, and it is in use. So it is in use by this instance. This is our EC2 instance. Now I'll go and create new volume. Okay, so these are the different types. So based on this your performance will be determined, and based on your better performance you will pay more cost. So I'll go with the default one. Size I will keep minimum, so minimum is 1 GB. Okay, so 1 GB size I'll keep, and rest of the things I'll keep minimum. Okay, so now availability zone. So always remember, if your instance is zone A, you need to create your EBS volume in the same zone, else you will not be able to attach it. So currently my instance, let me check it is in which availability zone, where I can see in details. Okay, so currently my EC2 instance, let me go back to instances and see. So my current instance availability zone, I just forgot while creating which availability zone I chose. Okay, and here you can see AP South 1B. So my volume should be in B itself. So I choose B. Okay, so I don't create snapshot, I don't need to encrypt this. Rest of the things I'll keep default, and I'll create a volume. So now I'll just add additional 1 GB to my EC2 instance. So currently you can see this is available, not used. So I'll just select on this, and I will go to action, and I will just attach volume. So where I need to attach, so I have to choose instance, that is my ABS demo. It will show only the instances within the same zone. Device name, so you can specify device name, or I will choose the recommended one, so that is STB. Okay, I'll choose the XDB, and now I'll just attach volume. Okay, so now you can see there are two volumes. One is 8 GB root volume, and additional 1 GB which I just created, and both are in use, and in use by same EC2 instance. Now let's see if it reflects within your EC2 instance. Now earlier you can see only one XVDA. Now we have created one more. So let's check. Now you can see the 1 GB additional is there now, XVDB. Also verify if you check in DU-, so DF-H. Okay, but here you don't see your additional file system, your additional disk, and you are still not able to use it. So how you will use it? Because if your root one you can use in slash, this is your root location, but if you want to use additional 1 GB, how you can use? So there is a second step. First step, creating EBS volume and attaching to your EC2 instance. Second step, you still need to mount it on your Linux system. So how we can do that? So we have a documentation here. I'll just use this, make an Amazon EBS volume available for use. So you can have Linux or Windows. I'll check for Linux. So there are specified steps which we already checked. Now from here you can do, so You have to execute this command one by one. Okay, so I'll just copy this command, but I have to change based on my device name. Yes, I'll paste it. So my device name is xvdb. Okay, now let's execute another one. So this you need to, if device has a file system, so my device don't have file system, so I will skip this command. Okay, so now I'll go to this command. So this command, so this is for formatting. Create a file system of your volume. So I'll create a file system. So I'll just go paste. Again, my name is vdb, so it is creating a file system. MKFS is make file system. I'll just create, a file system is created. Now to create one directory, so let's say I will create a directory called sudo mkdir slash my data. So I create my data directory, and now I want to mount my data to a newly attached EBS volume. Okay, so here I will choose my data bxvdb. Let's enter. Okay, now I feel everything is done. So if I do df-h now, you can see my data is available for use. And suppose if you want to go to the slash my data, you are into my data, and now you can use this space, you can use this storage to store your file or do whatever you want to do. Okay, so hope you understood now how we can create EC2 instance, how we can create new EBS volume, and how we can mount our EBS volume to the Linux. So that's it for this video, and we'll see you again in a further video.